Good day. This is the first video of a new video series in which I would like to talk about my knowledge, opinions and ideas regarding various topics in the life of our modern society. All of this is based on the knowledge that I have from a free book by Michel Demarquet, which is called Thiaoouba the Golden Planet. In my own free ebook, The Simple Truth of Life, I talk about why I know that that book is completely true. I also have a video on my YouTube channel in which I partially talk about why I know that that particular book is completely true. In that video you can also find more information about the universe and its purpose. I would like to note that we are talking about knowledge and science, and not about faith and religions. During the course of this video series, I will be using such words as the spirit and spirituality. Those words have almost nothing to do with religions. To begin with, I would like to say that I'm interested in science and in all other related topics. Lately, it's pretty much rare that I watch something that has paranormal in it. And if I do, I usually try to stay neutral about the things that are being said in that video. Unless, of course, I have knowledge which can either confirm or refute the things said. I am well aware that such discussions about little-known things can be either blatant lies or some type of wrong conclusions. So you have to be able to sift through the garbage. In my case, my knowledge from Thiaoouba helps me with that. The understanding that I have about life also helps a bit too. During the course of this video series, I will be expressing my opinions and thoughts which might conflict with many dogmas of our modern society. Those statements do not intend to offend anyone. And they also do not call for any negative actions against any people. As for Michel Demarquet's book, Thiaoouba the Golden Planet, in this video I will only briefly say that he was taken to the planet Thiaoouba, from which Jesus Christ came to Earth almost 2000 years ago. During the course of my somewhat difficult life, I was able to experience certain interactions with Thiaoubians, who accompanied Michel on his 9-day journey. Since I know from my personal experience that those people from Thiaoouba, really exist, it is also logical that the book Thiaoouba the Golden Planet is completely true. And since Thao also dictated to Michel the important details of his journey, this is also a very accurate document containing a lot of important information that can greatly help people. By studying this unique book over the years, I was able to make certain interesting discoveries, which helped my life to become more easier and happier. I wrote about almost all of my discoveries in my free book, and I will also try to talk about them in my future videos. In this introductory video, I will talk a little about the structure of the universe and its laws. I will also talk about some of my discoveries. This knowledge will help you better understand the material of the following videos. In the beginning, there was nothing material. There was only a spirit or the superior intelligence. The superior intelligence decided to create the material worlds, the universe, in order to satisfy his spiritual needs. He wanted to experience physical sensations through the material world. Once he had the overall view in his imagination of what he wanted to create, he was able by his immense spiritual force to instantly create the four forces of the universe. With those four forces, he directed the first atomic explosion of the universe, which we call the Big Bang. The first atomic force is responsible for creating the atoms, stars, and planets. With the help of the second force, which is called overcosmic force, the spirit created the first primary creatures and plants. And later on in time, he derived subspecies from them. This force is called overcosmic because those primarily living creatures and plants were created by simple cosmic rays, which ended up with cosmic eggs. By help of the third force, which is called overastromic, the spirit or the superior intelligence created the human being, who appeared in the universe right away, the way he is. That is, the human beings never experienced the process of evolution, which all animals and plants have to go through by design of the universe. Once the human being was created, the spirit inserted an infinitesimal part of itself into the human body. And the last force has to do with spirituality. It concerns the topic of reincarnation, thanks to which people can experience or play different roles in different physical bodies. The human being consists of 9 bodies, and animals only made of 3 bodies. Some of those bodies are physical, physiological, fluidic, astral, also known as soul, psychic, astropsychic, and psychotypical. The names of the last 2 bodies are known because Stalin never mentioned them to Michel. For more details, I would suggest you read Michel Demarquet's book. Or you can watch my video about the structure of the universe, in which I tried in detail to talk about the structure of the universe and its purpose. One of the universe's laws dictates that we must suffer for all of our mistakes. The suffering can come instantly, in a day, in a year, or maybe in another life, but all of the mistakes must be paid for eventually. This is why reincarnation is important, because if a person who made a serious mistake and was never caught can be able to experience on his own skin what the other person whom he offended was experiencing back in another life. From that experience, if the person learns his lesson, he will no longer make that mistake which caused another person to suffer. That is, that person will have acquired a spiritual knowledge. Of course, that is also another reason for reincarnation. It helps people to acquire more and more spiritual understanding about life and how we interact with other people and other creatures in general in the universe. Next, all the creatures have the freedom of choice, and to act in such a way that deprives other people from their privilege to act out of their own will is one of the greatest crimes that we can commit. There are 2 types of knowledge, the material and spiritual. That knowledge plays the major role in every decision that we make. The material knowledge is erased in the river of oblivion. For example, when we agree or decline to be reborn in another body. As for the spiritual knowledge, it never erases, so it stays forever with us. Once we acquire a spiritual understanding, the spiritual knowledge, it stays with us throughout the course of our next lives that we live in the universe. Both material and spiritual knowledge is stored in the immortal soul. The psychic body also never dies, since it's part of the astral body. I think that some data can also be stored in the psychic body, and it can also be transferred from one life to another with us. After going through many difficulties in my life, I have realized that there is a duality of life and also the golden mean. If we take a sine wave as an example, then everything that comes closer to its edges is a mistake, and everything which is located closer to its center line is the correct decision. Another important realization is this. From Michel's book, it is clear that the spirit didn't want to receive any bad sensations, and that is why he created the 9 filters of 9 higher selves. That is, the spirit didn't want to receive any negative or bad emotions. The superior intelligence only wants to receive every sensation which is good. And this is quite logical. But we also know that our intellect is part of the spirit. And since we are part of it, it's logical that we also don't want to make any mistakes and have any bad emotions or feelings. So people do things that they believe will benefit them. People make such decisions based on their current material and spiritual knowledge that they have regarding the life situation in which they are in. In conclusion, I would like to talk about one important detail. When I was doing my official Russian translation of Michel Demarquet's book, I made a conscious decision to make that electronic version available for free wherever possible. There are several important reasons for that. First of all, the book has a lot of important information which can greatly help a lot of people. It did help me. Then Saul clearly said that due to the pollution of the Earth's atmosphere, our planet is likely to experience serious cataclysms in the near future. And so the question is, why would someone borrow off other people from such important information with money, when it is so important that as many people as possible read this book, regardless of their financial situation? The same thing applies to my book also, the free version of which you can download from many online bookstores. My opinion is such that all the knowledge which can help other people should be available for free for the rest of the population. Here I should clarify that not all the knowledge should be made available to all the people. For example, the knowledge on how to create an atomic bomb and all such things. But then there's also this fact that you have to have money in order to live in our modern society. It took me about 2 years to translate Michel's book into Russian as well as write my own book. I have no regrets about receiving nothing material from those books. What I did get is the experience and new knowledge, as well as the spiritual knowledge. There's also this bonus of me shedding some of my psychological problems that I used to have before writing my book, and also while I was writing my book, when I was still having difficulties telling the truth about myself and my life. In fact, the presence of monetization, as well as its absence, does not make the truth less true and the lie less false. So I figured it would be logical to provide a simple link to one of the online wallets where people can donate to me if they want to support my work. I will try to make all the planned videos regardless of the balance of that wallet. The main goal of this video series is to try to spread the knowledge from Thiaoouba to as many people as possible. Then there's also this added bonus of me trying to get rid of the remaining psychological problems that I still have. And as for the money, it's just a nice bonus for the time that I spent to make these educational videos. The main thing here is that all the material will be available barrier-free, accessible to all the people who have the access to the internet. Thank you for watching.